Hello and welcome to Indelac Controls. My name is Matt and this is another episode of Inside an Actuator. Today on Inside an Actuator we're going to be installing auxiliary switches in the field. Alright, and anytime you're working around one of our actuators that's connected to live power, take extra precaution against electrocution. It's always a danger. So the first thing that you're going to do before anything else is you're going to disconnect the power supply. And here we've got to connect it to a box so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, step number 2, you're going to go ahead and remove the cover. Now to remove the cover, you're going to need a 3/16 Allen wrench. Thanks, Mike. I've already removed the screws here, just to help with speed. Okay? Now when you're removing one of the covers, you always want to take extra precaution not to scratch up this surface here. This is a NEMA 7 enclosure, and if any scratches appear here, you can jeopardize the seal. So, step 3, you're going to want to take your screwdriver and remove the existing screws in the switches that are already there. These are the limit switches here. Okay, I've already done that again for speed and time's sake. So go ahead and remove your screws. Step 4, you want to open up your kit and you'll notice inside of the kit, in addition to having 2 cams, you also have 2 switches, 2 pieces of fish paper, and you're going to have 2 screws. Now you're going to want to stick the screws through the top switch and then begin layering your fish paper, switch, fish paper. Okay? Then take it directly down and through the screw holes. Move these wires. I don't know if you can see in there. Down. Everything lines up. Wiggle it around. Okay. And once you've got that in, you're going to take your screwdriver again and tighten these switches down. We'll make sure I've got a good connection here. Hold. Sometimes you gotta play with it until you can get the screw started. Of course, what happened when I'm doing a training video. Alright, there's the start. Now when you're tightening these screws, you never want to tighten one of them all the way down before you've gotten the other one started, because as you just saw, sometimes you can need a little bit of wiggle room in there. Alright, and you want to get them good and snug, but you never want to tighten them too tight. And we're good to go. Alright. Now, you're going to take your 6 wires from your 2 switches and you're going to take and you're going to cut them to length about there, just for the demo. Okay. You're going to take your stripper. These are 18 gauge wires, and go ahead and strip yourself a nice piece there out the end. You can save yourself some time, go ahead and do all of them at one time here. This one didn't get a good clean strip, so you want to do it again. Make sure you get a good clean. Alright, there we go. 2 more. I think once go. Alright, now you've got all your wires stripped. Go ahead and move your top switch wires out of the way. And you're going to want to start with the outermost wire here. And on the top of your switch, it'll be labeled with 3 letters COM for common. The other ones are labeled normally open and normally closed by NO and NC. Okay? So, again, on the bottom switch, the outermost wire, common, you're going to insert that into the next open terminal, terminal 5, and go ahead and tighten that down. Alright, the next wire is going to be the normally open wire, still on the bottom switch, and you're going to go to terminal 6. And they're real good, and go ahead and tighten it down. Okay. Last but not least, for the bottom switch, you're normally closed into terminal 7. Tightening it down. Okay. Alright. Now, we're going to move on to the top switch. Again, starting with the common wire. By going to terminal 8. Now we're just moving progressively from common to normally open, and then finishing with normally closed, the bottom switch first, then the top switch, terminals 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I'm installing the normally open wire into terminal 9. Okay? And your last wire, the normally closed wire, go ahead and slide that into terminal 10 and tighten it down. Alright, so your wires are connected. I like to just go ahead and tuck them down. A lot of times in the field, you're going to want to cut them a little bit short, or have a wire tie. Keep them grouped and out of the way. Alright guys, now we're ready to install our closed cam. Okay? So you're going to want to slide the cam down over the shaft, down over the shaft, the flat part facing the switch, facing out. Okay, and you're going to take a 5/64 Allen wrench, and you're going to want to slide this all the way in until you can hear it click in. Then just barely click it out, hold it in place, take your Allen wrench and tighten that down. Okay? Alright. Alright. So now you're ready to install the open cam. But to do that, you're going to have to return the power supply to the actuator and run it to the open position. I'm going to do that now. Now that the actuator is in the open position, you're ready to install the second cam, the open cam. Again, placing the cam flat against the switch. You're going to, see if I can give you a better angle, you're going to take the cam and turn it all the way until you click in, barely click it out. Take your other finger, hold it in place. I'm going to go ahead and reach over this in this case, and tighten that cam down. Try to get it good and tight. You don't want that cam to go anywhere on you. Okay. Go ahead again. Turn the power supply to the closed position. Alright. Now in between those, you don't want to terminate the power supply on a spring return, because it's going to spring return either, well, I guess if you have a fail open, it's going to stay in place, but if you have a fail closed spring return, it's going to go right back to that closed position as soon as you get ready to install that cam, and it's not going to work for you guys, so be careful about that. So, everything here is finished, and I'd like to thank you guys once again for joining us on Inside an Actuator.